Hi everyone, Steve the Hurricane here, and on today's episode of Small Biz TV, we're going to talk about when you as the owner of a business should take a salary. So I want to share a story with you folks. Last week, my wife and I, we went out for a date night. It was great. My son and daughter are in Taekwondo. They had like a movie night, so they went to the movie night. They let our younger daughter come to the movie night. We had 5 hours to ourselves. We didn't even know what to do. We went out to dinner. We didn't want to go see a movie, so we went shopping. And then we ended up going to Barnes & Noble. And when I walked into Barnes & Noble, we kind of split up because she has her interest, I have my interest. It's kind of funny. We had a night to ourselves, and we ended up splitting up at Barnes & Noble. But I go to the magazine section, and I always like to look at what entrepreneurs are doing, and I start reading Entrepreneur magazine, I start reading Inc. magazine, and it makes me feel good to see what a lot of new business owners are doing, because I'm not a new business owner. I've been around for 6 years now doing this, and I had another business beforehand for about 8 years. And we're a multi-million-dollar business, and so we're doing well, but it always reminds me of where I've come and the journey that I've come across. And there was this great article that talked about when do you pay yourself. And I remember for myself when I started paying myself. In this business, in my business, I started paying myself right away. I actually had a plan. I knew I had a nest egg. I had money coming out. But I started paying myself from the beginning because I was doing all the work. I didn't really have a staff. I didn't have a physical location. It was out of my house. So I was able to do that initially because I was a one-person operation. I knew my margins. I knew everything I needed to know to pay myself. So I'm in a little bit unique situation. But for most of us, if we have a brick and mortar building or a brick and mortar business, we have to come to a point of when we're going to pay ourselves. And so from this magazine article that I read, and this goes back to like life, because when you think about everything, sales and marketing grows your business, you got to have your operation down, but paying yourself is a super important part of this triad, the Hurricane triad of success for our clients. When you pay yourself, there's a couple things that you want to remember. Number one, if you had a high-powered job and you were making a lot of money, in the beginning, you're not going to make that kind of money. Even for myself, I was making about $180,000, $200,000 a year before I started Hurricane Marketing Enterprises. When I started paying myself a salary, it wasn't nearly that much money. It was a lot less, and it took a little bit of an adjustment. I had to get rid of my cars. I had to get rid of a lot of the expenses that I had to be able to afford to live off of this lesser lifestyle. But it was a short-term loss, obviously, for a long-term gain. Now I got my cars back, and I lived the life, and it's amazing. That's what you do when you start a business. Now they recommend when you start a business, get yourself to a point where you have about 6 months revenue to cover your expenses in the bank. If you get to a point where you have 6 months revenue, then you know that even though the business, and every business has ebbs and flows where it goes up and down, you should be able to weather 6 months with no sales, no revenue coming in, and still be able to pay yourself and live your life. Now, your salary needs to be something that allows you to keep your lights on, allows you to keep your shirt on your back, and allows you to have some quality of life. And I do say some quality of life because I know people out there who are business owners who haven't taken a vacation in 3 or 4 years. What's the point in living? You never know when your time is up. I know people who've literally dropped dead. I've known that. I'm sure you have too. So you got to make time to live your life, but don't go extravagant. You can go camping at the park. That could be a vacation, but again, enough so that you can live your life and you're okay. You can survive. And then you can take bonuses and you can pay yourself more when there's more profits and obviously cut back when you need to. So the short answer here is get that 6 months revenue and give yourself a salary that you know you can cover and live off of and keep the shirt on your back, the lights on in your house, and food on your table. That's how you start it off and you grow. And depending on what you want to do with your business, if you want to go public, you want to get capital investors, and you want to make your business become a giant corporation, which they talk about, one thing that investors look at, they don't like a CEO who pays himself more than like $100,000, $125,000 a year. So just keep that in mind if that's the way you want to go. And so this was just the quick tip for the week for Small Biz TV. When do you pay yourself? Here's how you do it. If you have questions, if you need help, you want to grow your business, pick up the phone, give us a call. We've got solutions for you that can help you get your business to where you want to be and beyond. Remember, we specialize in taking people with 5- and 6-figure businesses and turning them into 7-figure empires. I'll talk to you soon.